Hi guys, Unknown here, bringing you another tutorial in Logic Pro 10. Today I'm going to be doing some post-processing on a bass sound, and I wanted to show you in particular a very useful technique that will enable you to capture changes that you make to plugins or synthesizers, but this could be used with volume changes, panning, anything pretty much. And it's kind of the way that you would use automation, but without actually using automation. Instead, we're going to be printing it to audio, and I'll show you how to set that up and how to go about it. Later on I'll talk about why you might want to do this, but first of all I'll give you a preview of this track as it stands. I've got some drums laid out and a bass sound that I made using the ESM, the monophonic synth that comes standard in Logic, with a bit of processing on it, some distortion and some modulation delay, and then I used a filter on a couple of the sections, but then all of that's been bounced to audio, so I just have one audio channel now. So let me play it for you. Okay, that's what we have so far. So on this channel I've got a compressor and some EQ, and I'm also sending it to a bus which has got some saturation, distortion plugin, and some EQ again, quite heavy EQ on this, and that's just to thicken the sound out a bit, but we won't worry about that too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a couple of sections, and so you're going to have to excuse the noise in the background. I've got puppies running around all over the place, and if I shut the door to shut them out of the room, they just sit at the door barking and whimpering. No, Jake, I'm recording now. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions. So we're going to cut some of these audio clips. Cut out little sections. Stop knocking the microphone. Just choose some bits at random. Okay, I don't know. We'll do something like that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Okay, that'll do. Maybe let's cut another one here as well. Okay, so what I've just moved these down to another track that I've got set up, which is our post-processing channel. It's very simple. Right, stop fighting. I don't know. I've got set up a channel EQ. It's not doing a lot, just very shaping the sound marginally, and I've got a compressor on there with a preset loaded, and that's pretty much it. Now the plugin that I'm going to be using to do all the effects and get the interest for the sound is this plugin here. It's called the ++ pitch delay by a company called Soundhack. As you might gather, it's a delay plugin that allows you to pitch the delays around, and you can get some very extreme, quite warped sounds with it. So what I'll do, I'll turn this on, let's play it, and I'll demonstrate what kind of sounds we can achieve with this. I'm going to mainly probably be adjusting the time parameter, maybe the feedback, possibly the depth as well. I'll leave the rest for the time being. Okay, let's have a listen. So, as you can probably tell, that is quite a nice little plugin for getting some really crazy twisted sounds. So how do we go about printing it to audio? Okay, the first thing we're going to do, on our processing channel, we're going to set up a new bus. This is bus 10, and then we're going to send the signal to that bus. The next thing we need to do I've already done this in advance. Let me delete it. Let's pretend we haven't done that. Okay, the next thing we need to do is create a new audio channel. Okay, so audio, yes, create. Let me turn that off, otherwise we will be getting my voice doubling up. Okay, and let's name this record. There we go. The next thing we need to do, just below where we have our EQ here, you'll see this where it says input. Now this decides the inputs for the track, and rather than choosing one of the inputs, we're actually going to come down to this bus menu and we're going to select bus 10, the bus we just set up. Now this channel will be receiving information, any audio that's coming through bus 10. Now at the moment I've got this set to a mono channel, which you can see that by this circle here. Now we can change that if we want to by clicking on it, and we get the overlapping circles, and it will now be a stereo track. So whatever we're recording into this channel, if we've got it on mono, it will only record in mono, even if it's from a stereo source. I'm going to leave it on mono for the time being, but you can obviously put it in stereo if you wish. So this is our record channel. This is where we're going to be printing the audio. The only other thing we need to do is to arm the track so that it's ready for recording. Before I do that though, I'm going to come back onto this channel, our processing channel, and I'm going to open up our plugin that we want to change. So let's arm the track. I've hit the R button there, so it's record enabled, and now all we need to do when we're ready to perform in our changes, I just need to hit R on the keyboard, and then we'll be recording. So let's give it a go. Okay, there were some good ones in there. I think the last two were pretty rubbish. We'll get rid of them. Let's have a listen. Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll listen to them anyway. Yeah, as I thought, those two were pretty naff. Okay, I really like the second one. The first one was good as well. So let's just chop these out. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these back up to our original track. As you can probably tell, there's a little bit of a volume difference between the two, but we'll sort that out in a second. Okay, and I'm just going to, I'll bring back our original idea. I'll tell you what, we'll just concentrate on this first half. Okay, so I want to change the gain on these so that it's more in keeping with our what we have on the track already. I'm going to guess about there. We can tweak it if we need to. So let's have a listen to what this sounds like. I'll mute the rest. Okay, that's quite nice up until there. Let's bring back in the original part. What does that sound like? Maybe boost the gain a little bit more, and maybe blend these a little bit, overlap them with a crossfade. Okay, so well, that's the technique. It's a great way for actually performing the changes you want to make. Rather than drawing in the automation, we can actually play it in and record it to audio. And it's a fun way to make some really interesting sounds. And this would be great for sort of transition effects and down sweeps or uplifts, that kind of stuff. Okay, I said I'd mention quickly reasons why you might want to do it. So one I've really mentioned already is that you actually are performing the changes, and it becomes much more intuitive, I guess. Another reason you may want to do this, as in my case, this particular pitch delay plugin doesn't accept automations. I've tried automating with it in the past, and it doesn't seem to read back any automations that are made. So if you have a plugin that doesn't read automations, this is a good way to make changes, because often if you keep the parameters in a plugin static, they're not quite as interesting as if you tweak them, even if it's just minor adjustments. So this is a good way to do that. Also, it makes you commit to a sound, and which is very good for your, it's a good discipline to get into, to not get too hung up on tweaking and constantly retweaking sounds, which in automation is possible to do almost endlessly, really. Whereas with this, once you've printed that sound to audio, you've got it down, it's captured. Obviously there are still things you can do to process it even further, but essentially that sound is captured and it's done. If you're not happy with anything that you record, you can chuck it away, try it again, see if you get something better. But it's a nice way to work. And yeah, so I hope that's been useful to you. It's not something I use an awful lot, I have to say, but it's something I really want to use much more, and I think it will really help my workflow. And the other thing is also, I should mention, if you are using automations on a very busy track with lots of different channels, lots of things going on, and you're copying and pasting regions, sometimes the automations copy when you don't want them to, sometimes they don't copy. It can get frustrating, confusing, and this just simplifies things. You can get rid of all your processing that you were doing on the channel, and you've got an audio file with your sound, and then where you take it from there is up to you. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time around. So whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you again on the flip side. Peace out.